Welcome to the Tent Talk podcast with Duff and Beats. Get ready to ride the waves of excitement as we dive into all things surf sports and the Shaw and Partners World Ocean Series. Now, let's dive in. This is Tent Talk with Duff and Beats. It's Tent Talk time. It's Tent Talk time. It's Tent Talk time. It's Tent Talk time.
We were just talking about the jingle and that potentially we like the original.
Yeah, I do. I like Reno with the acoustic guitar. For those who don't know, it was Ben on acoustic guitar.
I had no idea that he had the voice of an angel.
Dude, the songbird of his generation. People have called him.
It's just a shame he's wasting all of his talents running epic events for the surf sports community.
We should count ourselves lucky because he could be off on the big stage. But
that's right.
Anyway.
Speaking of Reno.
Yeah.
Just the two of us today.
Yeah.
Would you imagine us?
Yeah.
Would you imagine it? That the man who claims to do so much, not here for episode number 1. Well, and what we've rescheduled for his schedule. What? 3 times, 4 times?
Well, I don't want to say that he's not busy, but certainly out of the 3 of us, he would be the least busy. It's the off season of clubbies. He works across the road from where he lives now. Like, doesn't have a heap on his plate, to be absolutely honest. So disappointing not to have him in the studios. A nice way of putting it.
Or expressions of interest into the Tent Talk Pod DMs on both Instagram and TikTok now. Yep. I don't know. That happened in the off season, and it's a strange world. TikTok.
I'm not on it. I spend enough time on my phone as it is. I don't need to be on TikTok as well.
I'm reluctantly on it with Tent Talk, and look, I just don't think it's a space for us, but I think it is the space that you need to be in if you want to be promoting a top-notch podcast, which, look, we are.
Yeah, tend to agree.
That's it. But back for another season, Box. We thought we'd shake the cobwebs off and crack on into it. And how we doing, Box?
Yeah, not my name, mate. What is this, season 4 or season 3?
I don't know. We started with seasons, then we did episodes, then we kind of did like season 2.11. And so it is season 4. We started off in 2022. It's episode 63. So I reckon with the pace that we took up episodes last year, pretty much weekly, if not, we punched a few more in. We could hit the big ton, the 100 throughout the year or throughout this season. Well, we're starting in June. The season goes until the end of March. I reckon we knock over 100 this year.
Yeah, if I've done 40 more pods this year, I'll be pretty disappointed. That's a lot of podding, but never say never. I'd love to have enough time to do 40. What is it? 30? Oh, 37? No, I'll take it back. I think we could do 37 more pods before March. That's not that crazy.
Well, have a think about it. Like the plans we have and the guests that we're lining up.
Yeah, that's true.
40 pods, it's not out of the question.
No, you're right.
It might take a bit of extra elbow grease, but hey, who's going to roll the shoulders? Who's going to roll the sleeves up and get it done if it's not us?
That's it. If not us, who?
Yeah, if not us, who? Very, very simple. There's not a whole lot to talk about. We thought we might just jump back in, talk about what things people may have missed, maybe some of the Rumour Rip. It's a very, very smoke and mirrors. It's all secret hush-hush at this stage of the season.
It always is with clubbies.
It's so silly that it is like that, but that might be our little gripe of the week. That'll be also tense up, tense down, and maybe a few date claimers and some big news just come out this week. It's probably the first news cycle of the season where we see some of the Aussie dates get announced and some of the new formats of the series and the calendar events that we look forward to each and every year. So plenty to unpack there, but let's roll into a few tense up, tense down. I'll give you the floor. Tense up to begin with.
Tense up. I think it rolls into yours, but I'll do a quick one. It was Reno's birthday, the big 2-9 for the big fella. So happy birthday to Reno. He will be listening to this one. If he hasn't turned it off already for writing him off in that first 30 seconds. Do you have a tense up? My other one was just the amount of clubby babies that are going around at the moment. It's just obscene. It feels like everywhere I look, there's a new Iron Man, Iron Woman baby making its way into the world.
Well, that's it. The congratulations to all the Iron Men and Iron Women and all the surf sports community that are popping out babies, because there's been a hell of a lot. And obviously, Matt Bevilacqua and Brielle Cooper's baby, as well as Parker Poole, Paulie and his beautiful partner there, Annalise. They're the two that we know of in the off-season most recently. And we got a little Instagram message from none other than Kev Morrison that there was a strange trend that emerged from all these surf sports babies, and it's the double-double. Do you want to explain the double-double to us?
Well, Duff, for those who are unsure what the double-double is, it's a letter beginning with your last name and first name being exactly the same. So, for example, most recently, Bo Bevilacqua, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, it's the tip of the iceberg, and if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, the literary devices of it, it is an alliteration. But we started with Bo Bevilacqua. We then go back to Parker Poole.
Posey Poole
also. We had a Billy Brooks. We had a Danny Day.
Mailer Malcolm.
A Leo Louis. Bobby Buchanan. Any more?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I should have written them all down. But no, there is a lot.
I think there's enough evidence out there now.
Yeah, it's very much a trend.
That a trend has begun. Not that Soph and I were ever thinking about number 3, but I would have to start brainstorming names that start with the letter D because
fucking good old Dave
Duffy,
a good Darren Duffy. A solid lad.
Yeah. There's not enough good Darrens getting around the world anymore.
A couple more of them. That's what we need.
It's a name lost to us all, Darren. It's like a good dog name. When you get a good dog name that's like a human name. It's nice. But yeah, that was my little observation. All thanks to Kev Morrison for pointing that one out. A good one for us here. I apologise if any of the switching is off, and normally Reno covers that and he does a good job. So I'm trying my best to manage both.
You're doing it all.
Both here. I'm doing it all.
You're
I'm
trying to. You're on the cameras.
But yeah, my tense up of the beginning of the season is we're trying to be bigger and better each and every year. And part of being bigger and better is to reinvent yourself every now and then and to go through a process of growth and understanding. And much to the disappointment of Monkey Myers, who went and got himself our logo plastered all over his body. I think he's working on a back piece right now. We're actually going through a rebrand phase. So keep your eyes peeled and posted. We got one of the best in the business working on it in the background. But we're currently going through a rebrand for the Tent Talk podcast. All really surrounding the fact of marketing, marketability, as well as the big sort of shiny light of merchandise. So being able to merchandise a few items.
Well, it was never on our radar until you open our DMs, and then every man and his dog's asking for a hoodie or a hat or something. It's like, it's not.
They want something.
Yeah, it's not something we were particularly interested in dipping our toes in. But you know, you guys want it, we're giving it to you.
Yeah. So first cab off the rank is the rebrand. So hopefully that'll happen soon. We've seen the first mock-up. Very, very happy. Few sort of revisions to be made, but once those revisions are made, then I think everyone will be equally as happy as what we are, and we can probably take this to the next level, which would be great.
Absolutely.
Which would be awesome. In terms of tents down, I don't have a lot, and it was only just really early or pre-pod that I sort of said my gripe would probably be the secrecy of, I guess, movement, secrecy of new club signings, transfers, who's doing what, who's here, who's where. It's been like that forever. And I just don't understand why we can't own the space of, okay, this is what we've done, this is where we are, here's the release for it. It's pushed out and everyone knows, and no one has to talk and whisper about it.
I think there's a lot of power in just kind of owning your own narrative, right? Like if I was moving clubs, I'd go, hey, I'm really excited for this chapter. I had a great chapter. Now when people move clubs, there's so much like ambiguity around why they left. Fuck, did they have blow-ups? Did the coach not get along? Like if it was me moving clubs, I would try and get, like, again, not that the sport's big enough for that sort of stuff, but I don't know. I think, Chinese whispers in our sport can get a little bit carried away. So I don't know. If it was me, I'd just tell everybody this is a decision I'm making. You don't have to go into the reasons why, but it leaves a little less room there for people to try and fill in the blanks themselves.
Heaps less room. And obviously that's a little thing, but I think it's just something as a sport and maybe in our space that we might try to grow a little bit.
I think it looks...
Even give a channel and an avenue for people to go, hey, here's what I'm doing. Are you able to release it for us? And that way everyone gets a story, everyone gets a message, and maybe that's the way forward.
I think it's a professional look as a sport. I think if we decided to do that, it would make this give the sport some gravitas, and people would maybe stand up and pay attention a little bit more. because these moves do mean a lot to people. So next time you're making a move, stand in it or give us a message. We'll create a little...
We'll create it for you.
Yeah,
we'll create the message. Who knows? You got a tense down?
Reno for not being here. It's first one of season 4. It's a Thursday. So anyway,
what's he doing?
Well, he is working this weekend. He does work hard, so I shouldn't knock him too much. But he's got an event on this weekend for Surfing Queensland. He's running like the Mick Fanning, Joel Parkinson. I think it's the Salento Surf something or other at Burleigh. So he's doing a bit of that at the moment. He's down there setting up staging, whatever. But yeah, I think he could have found some time this week. That's all.
Well, I think he might have had some spare time this week. Apparently, 29th birthdays are super important. That requires a day off work. But hey, neither here nor there.
There you go.
Neither here nor there. I won't judge anyone that takes a birthday off. That's just my thing. We'll roll on in. Things that we may have missed, and I guess these are just the little things that have been happening in the off season that might have just gone by. And look, there are probably things that we will miss from this segment. Things we may have missed, but we're going to kick it off, and this one will be a good one for you to roll into for the International Surf Rescue Challenge teams. New Zealand have named their youth team, their pathways team, as well as their open team. Now, my understanding of Australian lifesaving or Oz lifesaving is that they have only named a youth and a pathways, but not an open team yet. So, first off the bat, congratulations, you're back in the Blackfins.
It's been a while, maybe 4 or 5 years.
You're up on us.
Honestly, it's been 4 or 5 years since I wore a black cap, so very excited to get back in that. And just on a personal note, Joe, Corey, and I have been stinging to try and get in a team together for the last half a decade. So now that the stars are aligning, really looking forward to pulling on the black cap with those boys and the rest of the team, obviously. But very excited and stoked to be back in that black cap. Home beach as well, should be cool.
They throwing you the captain band?
No, I don't think so. I think I've been out of the loop too. I'm open to it. I don't think so. I think that's CT's probably till he retires. But I'll lead in different ways, mate. Don't need the captain's armband.
Mate, CT, I don't know. Maybe he's got something under the black cap that I don't understand.
Mate,
but I don't know if he could get me fired up to fight my way out of a wet paper bag, let alone run for a brick wall of the Australian surf lifesaving team.
Yeah, that is a tough gig. I think I'm certainly more vocal than CT, but he does lead by his actions. He is a good leader, and people definitely, like I said, he inspires me, and plenty of people under that black cap definitely idolise him. So he should be the number one pick for sure.
Yeah, they tend to go to a different level. Do the Kiwis when they're wearing the donning the black cap. But the Blackfins, the team, Max Beattie, Joe Collins, James Scott, Gus Shivnan, Oscar Smith, and Corey Taylor are the men's. James Scott, I'm led to believe the only New Zealand-based athlete there.
Yes and no. There's a few there that still like Claudia Kelly is like she's there right now, and there's nothing harder than being Taranaki doing a winter, So I think same as Pippa Nickel. Like there's a few there that still same as what was the other one? Brown Irving, Beachy, same as Oski. Like they're all still kind of there a little bit. They definitely come over here during the summer to get some racing done. Maybe stay here for 6 or 8 weeks or whatever. But still very much New Zealand based. But James Scott, I think he's the head coach at Orewa Surf Club, Open Men's Ski Race champion. He's been in that black cap before as well, so good to have him in there.
Huge. Roll through the rest of the women's there, or the women's side of the team. Olivia Corrin, Brianna Irvine, Claudia Kelly, Pippa Nickel, Molly Shivnan, and what would you say? Defecting? No.
I don't know, mate.
Because she has worn the green and gold before. So
I mean, it could be
in the green and gold one year and under the Blackfins of New Zealand. Next, Pippi Tapanya, debut for her in the New Zealand Blackfins.
I think we spoke this into existence maybe 2 seasons ago. We recognised that obviously she's got some Maori in her surname, and we were like, hang on a minute. So I mean, just another gem from the Tent Boys.
Yeah.
And welcome Pippi.
And welcome Pippi. That's a great scout. That's taken. Oz Lifesaving have missed the boat on that one. Get in early.
Yep.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Hard in my to Pippi Tapanya.
Any more? You want to keep rolling?
No, that's heaps.
We do have a great New Zealand audience, so maybe.
Yeah, they might love that one or hate me, either or.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Depends what side of the fence you're on.
I've learned to live with that.
Yeah. The Australian team, as we understand, yet to be named on the open side. They've named 2 pathways, 2 youth teams. We're led to believe that maybe the Trans-Tasman might be a trial sort of match for them?
Well, I think like a lot of people are under the idea that, maybe they're waiting to see who, New Zealand picked before they named their team and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't think that's the case. I think, the New Zealand program is a little bit smaller. It's a bit easier to pick from. The Australian guys, it's all about who's going to put their hand up. They have to wait till the calendar comes out so they can tell if, the Bevies of the world and the Allies of the world are interested. So I think now that the program is looking like it's nearly set, I think they'll start probably making decisions pretty soon.
Yeah, because I did a little bit of digging to see if we could find an Australian team, and obviously the youth and the pathway teams, as well as the World Games team, which was the pool side of things.
Yes.
And it was all the heavy hitters there: Harry Hines, the Brennan brothers, Jake Smith, all of those guys, Koshy, as well as the girls there, the Joneses and the likes of. So they're obviously still in and around and there, but being that it's a surf rescue challenge, the pool doesn't come into it. It does open the discussion though, and I've heard, I guess, tempered whispers. I wouldn't say warm or hot, but I've heard tempered whispers that the Olympics in 2032, the bid is currently fairly strong, and that it's moving towards the likely rather than the unlikely side that at the 2032 Brisbane Olympics that surf lifesaving will be involved in some capacity.
That would just be awesome. Like, I don't have anything to add. I hope that's the case. If they need commentators, holy hell. 8 years out, let's start a petition, because I think that's we're the absolute obvious choice, right?
Depends who's running.
Yeah. Surf Lifesaving Australia's not giving us a shot.
Probably not. But hey, who knows? We might be able to turn that rock over this year.
You know what? We'll commentate something else. We can do anything.
We can do anything.
Don't pigeonhole us into clubbies.
Yeah, we can.
I can branch out. You want me to do fencing? Give me some fencing.
Yeah.
You want me to do badminton? Easy.
I'll call an ippon in judo. Why not? I'll call a few ippons. Yeah, why not? But obviously, that would be cool to see. And if we get the whispers and that it looks like it's on, it might be good to go through some of our top athletes and just find where they might fit in the world landscape. Because obviously, Australia are going to be able to take so many, but there's got to be a few that can sort of find it somewhere, hit up their Olympic committees and say, look, get us on, because there's a medal chance for you right here.
The question is how many do you take and what events are they doing? Like, do you tie it in with triathlon where it looks a little bit similar? Do you, because even like kayaking and ski paddling is pretty similar also. It's obviously open water swimming and surf race. Like, there's just a lot of similarities across a lot of events. You just wonder exactly, obviously there's nothing really like board paddling, but I would just be very interested to see what a program of surf lifesaving at the World Championships would look like. They're not doing mixed doubles and tube rescues and whatever else.
My understanding of the Olympic bid is that it's the iron and the taplin that they're bidding for.
Yep.
So that would be an iron person race as well as the taplin, mixed taplin
and so
race.
What, two people per country?
I would assume so. Because
I think the surfing's the same. And then obviously a taplin is obviously your top four. So you got the individual disciplines as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably still up there. So let's say it's 3.
Yeah,
because then you've got a taplin team as well.
Yeah, so three irons, boy, girl, and then you have to create the taplin out of that. That makes sense.
And you'll get some countries that will go, okay, we're not going to have an iron, so let's just go for a taplin. And I don't know, but that's my understanding of the bid at this current stage, which is very early on. It's 8 years away, like we said. Other things you may have missed over in the over in Hawaii, the Molokai. Downwind paddle.
Aloha.
An absolute aloha to our Hawaiian listeners. Yes. I don't have any more Hawaiian.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. But in the men's was an epic battle from the two out in front. Lani Hill, Corey Hill's wife, posted on her Instagram most of the story. And they were pretty well inseparable for the entire Channel of Bones stretch. Was Corey Hill and eventual winner Pat Dolan. Now, I hadn't heard too much of Pat Dolan in the downwind space, and I'm not a big downwind paddler enthusiast, so I don't follow it closely, but he's the first ever Hawaiian since, he's the second Hawaiian, but the first Hawaiian to claim the iconic crossing since Kalai Hanley in 1978, but the first to ever do the double of the OC1, so the outrigger, as well as the surf ski. So
very cool.
His background is in the outrigger, the OC1, but decided that, you know what, I can probably mix it with this surf ski. I've got the knowledge of the passage. And so he took it all the way to Corey Hill, who's I think a 4 or 5-time champion now. So he's going for his number 6.
Yep.
Went all the way, did it in record time. Corey Hill also breaking record time. So huge battle between them. But I think the big takeaway here is Danielle Richards also in record time, finishing first overall, but finishing sixth overall. So including the men and the women, finishing sixth overall.
She's just like such a freak. Like that is just, I had a look at some of her splits today as well on, she posted them on Instagram and you just like, she's just a freak in nature.
So,
like you don't know what to say. Cause like, so for example, someone like, I think Daisy might've got fourth when he did it, you know, and then Danny McKenzie can finish sixth overall in the men's. Like, I don't know, just for context, you're just like, how unbelievable is this chick, right?
Well, that's it. And Corey Hill's got it on his Instagram as well, some of those splits. And I think his fastest split was kilometre 39. So just as they go and they turn that north line and they take that passage in toward China Wall, it just hooks. And they obviously had all-time conditions. To break record time, it's all about conditions. It's all about what type of wind you get. And apparently they had it all. So great to see. A few date claimers. Or do we want to do... We'll do date claimers first. So a few date claimers. We had the Australian title set. Sorry to break your heart here, Max. We're back at Kira.
Yeah.
That'll be the March.
I'm not sure if it's my heart and not the collective heart of clubbies everywhere, but sure.
I think it would be split, not down the middle. Definitely not the hey diddle diddle, but maybe just off the hey diddle diddle, maybe 60-40. You'll have a few in the camp of Kira and a few others. Obviously, conditions are pretty well ready to run every single time down in Kira.
And that's the beauty of it, right?
We had a delay in our youth program this year, but more often than not, you're going to get conditions that means you can run regardless at Kira. And that's the benefit of running at Kira, having it all house there. You set up from day one, you know you're there, and you don't have to worry about changes. But obviously, it wasn't friendly to watch this year. No. It was hard to watch it on the beach. It really was. There's no natural amphitheater or landscape for it to be able to see. It's not
like you're so far off the start and finish lines as well. Like because the beach is so broad, they set those like everything kind of early. It's like you're there during the low tide. I think you're just like you're 100 meters away from the start and finish line in every direction. It just makes it very, very tough to try and get that excitement sort of built in the arena. Whereas other beaches, like I said, it feels like you're kind of on top of it, and it's a little bit more exciting. Certainly, spectator friendly.
Well, that's it. But it obviously it's got its purpose, it's got its reasons, and that's where it is for this year. So,
we said, there's heaps of beach there. Everybody can put their gear there for a few days. Tents are sweet, more or less. Last year's probably the exception, but like everything, it is a good beach, kind of logistically for the carnival. But you just love to see a little bit more surf there. That's probably the only blight.
It can be very, I guess, conditions friendly, but results can also be condition dependent. It's a bit difficult, but we don't know what the program will look like. We don't know if there'll be youth for an extra day. We don't know what it'll be, but for now, it's the 21st to the 29th. It'll be Kira, North Kira, that area there, and that's when it will roll. We've got a trial date set for mid-September, which then obviously leads into the big news that happened this week. We posted up on our story. The Coolangatta Gold has been set. The course has been modified, and the field, although not officially set, will involve all the Shaw and Partners Iron Series athletes. So be it 28 again, male and female athletes, means at least 28 will go toe-to-toe across what we're thinking is a 2.5 hour course of the Coolangatta Gold. And I guess the contentious point of, is it a Coolangatta Gold now?
Well, the traditionalist in me says absolutely not. I get it though. Like the gold is boring. It's always been boring. Not boring.
No, not boring.
It's you're just not super. You can't watch all 4 hours and stay excited for 4 hours. I think the 2.5 hour race is really palatable. I like the distances. I think it's going to be a really, really good race. However, I don't know that you can call it the gold. I don't know if that sits right. If Ali Day, for example, goes and gets knocked over this year, what you say that he lost a gold, I just don't, you know what I mean? I don't think so. I think there should be a little asterisk. Let's call it the Coolangatta Silver because it's not the gold, baby. Am I wrong? What do you think?
You're not wrong, but there's no asterisks. At this stage,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So you can't take away from the original course, the Coolangatta course. There's no asterisks on what course we run, where it's been run. So if they line up for the Coolangatta Gold, and the Coolangatta Gold is 2.5 hours, the record books will say the winner is this. And so part of me gets excited because we get to see Ali Day go around again. We know that he's a big part of that series this year. It's a big ticket for him to come back this season to tick it off. The fact that the Coolangatta Gold is the opening leg is probably whet his appetite a little bit, but it also means as a spectator, as a big fan of sport, we get to witness perfection one more time. Yeah. And we thought it was the end. So this is like a little dessert you didn't know was coming.
It's a cherry on top, baby.
It's a cherry on top. So
not. Or that's the part that scares me, that I don't know that, you know what I mean? Well, the shorter the race gets, the more beatable he is, right? And then you just hate to see him give so much to the gold and then him get knocked over in this watered down, shorter version of the race. And then I don't know. It's just part of me that just it doesn't sit right with me. But like you said, I get it. It's going to be a great race to be in if you're in it. It's going to be even better to watch. It's all very, very exciting. But yeah, just the moniker of being the Coolangatta Gold champion after this year. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about it yet. Live it with me.
It's and obviously we're looking at it from one single aspect of Ali Day contests the gold again.
Yeah.
And he puts his record of 10 out of 10 on the line. And if he finishes 10 of 11, I don't think anyone will begrudge him for it. I don't think anyone will hold it against him. It will just be a little blemish on the perfect record. It'll probably eat away at him for a moment of time, and then it'll get washed away to go,
these are all
hypotheticals.
Yeah, these are all big ifs. He probably comes out and shits it in, and then, everything's okay again. But there's obviously just that one little question mark of the race, the guy who is personified and made the race iconic, for him to, like you said, go out there and put the unbeaten gold record on the line in a race that's not the gold. Yeah. It makes you squirm. It's a tough job. I don't envy him, that's for sure.
The women's race, Jemma Smith blew that field away last year.
Yep.
She would have walked that back in again this year and wouldn't have had anyone within minutes of her. I truly believe she would have won that by daylight again.
Yep.
That ski leg she put together there's no one that's going to match her. Now that the course is reduced, the ski leg and all the other legs for that fact are all reduced. We're led to believe it's reduced by 30%.
Yeah, it's around 60% of the gold is my understanding of the legs. It's, I believe, don't quote me, it's 14 on the ski. I think it's a 2K swim, 4K board, 5K run. So those are unofficially the distances.
How does the weekend look, do you think? Is it the punters on the Saturday, the elite on the Sunday? Is it the teams on the Saturday? Do they have the prize money again for the teams in the short course, or do we just see, is it only trialists that can do the elite gold? Is it only, so if you don't make the series, you can't win the gold this year?
Yep.
Is that the caveat, or is it's going to be the first leg of the series, but let's use the example of Charlie Verco, who didn't make the series this year in the men's. Can he not turn up and do this shortened version of the gold and try to win one of the most prestigious events on our calendar?
I think the idea is that you're supposed to be able to. I still think anybody can turn up, and what a great little chip on your shoulder if you get knocked in the trials to come back 4 weeks later and knock over a couple of guys that are supposed to be in front of you. But I don't know. Those are all great questions. Maybe we get someone from Shaw and Partners come have a chat, because I don't know any of the ins and outs. I don't know when, if there's teams, elite course, punters. I don't know what any of it looks like.
The other thing, we've used wild cards in our sport for a long time. Hasn't been around for a couple of years. You miss the trial, that can come out and win the gold. You get a spot?
Oh, for sure. That would be the ultimate wild card, and you would get crazy numbers. You would get every male who missed out to turn back around and do it in a fortnight's time or whatever month's time and back up. Again, winning it's tough, but I mean, why not?
First past the post.
First non-trialist.
First non-trialist past the post.
That'd be cool.
I like it. The shoulders up. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Yep, potentially. The wild card system hasn't been used for a while. We've had it knocks before, but maybe it comes with the caveat you've got to be in a certain position, above a certain position. We don't want 29th winning the wild card, but hey, it might be there. But I'm excited about the Coolangatta Gold.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It is going to be really good.
I know it's got its knocks. It's got its knocks at the moment. A bit like the Iron Series of last year. I want watch it play out, see what it's like, and then make judgment from there. But
yeah,
I think it reinvigorates the race. It changes the race dramatically, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's better in every capacity. It's better. I just don't know. But again, I'm just saying it's not the
traditional. It's not the pure Coolangatta Gold. You are 100% right.
But that is my only gripe with it. Everything else is better. And from now on, I'm happy if this is the Coolangatta Gold and this is the future iterations of it are this size. But it's just after the history of it now to just change it on a whim and then go, it's about 60% as big and we're going to call it the gold this year. You're like, okay.
Hasn't the conversation changed from 12 months ago or 18 months ago when the conversation was we're going back to the original course?
Yeah.
Well, no, in fact, we're going to change the course again and
make
reduce it and shorter and maybe make it a little bit more competitive in that sense. So who knows? But I guess we'll wait and see. Obviously, World Ocean Series date claimers would have been great for Reno to be here.
I've got some unofficial ones.
I've got some unofficial ones as well.
I'm not dropping them.
Kicking off mid-November, one in December, one in January.
There's tentatively one even a bit earlier, but again, I'm not the guy to.
It's not our place to say. I couldn't tell you what's happening with the juniors this year. I couldn't tell you what the prize money looks like.
If only there was a guy here that worked for the World Ocean Series that was a regular feature. Oh, there is. His name's Ben. He's not here this week because it was his birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah, somewhere with Mick Fanning apparently. Should we roll into then, if you've got nothing else in terms of the Coolangatta Gold, trials, dates, tents up, tents down, should we roll into the Rumour Rip?
Yeah.
Big LED sign, notice board. Not much of this, if any of this is confirmed at all. This is completely the rumour mill, the Rumour Rip, what whispers we have heard, what whispers we might have heard. Let's start with one with pure conviction that we can roll off the top.
Yep.
Kev Morrison, now the head coach at Kurrawa Surf Club.
More alliteration. Kev at Kurrawa. Kev from Kurrawa. Kurrawa Kev.
Kurrawa Kev.
I mean, what a fucking great steal for Kurrawa Surf Club. He was an amazing athlete there at Northcliffe, and he was a huge reason why that club started to really retain athletes. They certainly changed their perception a little bit as well. Like he created a really, really great culture at Northcliffe. The boys wanted to turn up for him, race for him. I think that was reflective in a lot of the results that the Open Men achieved at Aussies. So a huge loss for Northcliffe, huge gain for Kurrawa. And I think he's going to do wonders there. Give him a couple of seasons, let him tinker, let him work on a few things. But congratulations to Kurrawa, they got a good one.
Yeah, they did. They got a good one. And obviously, Kev then leaving a void or a bit of space at Northcliffe, and they filled that space with superstar specialist team. So filling in the space of Kev Morrison, they went and attracted some, I guess, alumni and specialists. Icons.
Goats.
Shannon Eckstein is now their iron specialist coach.
Heard of him?
Bit of Hello Sport right there. You heard of him, but he's an absolute superstar, the greatest we have. He's now on the coaching deck of BMD Northcliffe.
I'll be very interested to see. Obviously, he knows everything inside and out. Training, coaching looks a little bit different to what it looked like when he was going around, especially the mentality he had at training. I think he's going to get a shock to find a few people
don't train like him,
not have the same vigor or excitement or passion for clubbies like he does. So I'll be very interested to see, and I'm sure, like I said, he'll fill the shoes with great aplomb, whatever else. But when you say, Shannon Eckstein's going to be my coach, you're thinking, fuck, that's going to be sick. Come talk to me in Feb and see how that's going, because he's going to be he'll be a tough coach. He'll have really high standards, and he'll expect a very he'll expect nothing less than probably 100% attendance.
Yeah, more or less. So, but who knows? I think he's just going to be hands on for the iron sessions, which what are they? Maybe 2 a week, 3 a week. Who knows? As well as that, you've got Georgia Miller. She's jumped in. She'll be one of the specialists. Heard of it? Tate Smith, Olympian, obviously alumni, Olympic gold medalist. He'll be the ski specialist. Spoon, who's been around there for a while, I think he's jumping a bit more on board with the board specialist, 2-time Australian champion. I think he might have a world championship there as well. So they've really gone down this specialist route.
And obviously Naomi Flood. Still at the helm. Heard of her?
Still at the helm. We don't want to turn into Hello Sport. Oh, actually, I'd love to turn it.
I love that bit. I love the Heard of them bit.
It's a good bit.
For anybody who doesn't listen, if Hello Sport ever want to do a collab, please let us know. They're so funny.
The Grange to Glenelg scalp. So
more alliteration.
Glenelg of South Australia and Grange of South Australia. I think the one of the biggest rivalries of the South. It's sort of club versus club, and they take their rivalry pretty seriously. But the Grange coach has moved on over to Glenelg, so there's been a big shift. There's been a big shift
down
there,
mate.
in the movements of South Australia, and by all accounts, it's been a positive move, a good move. But I don't know with that move whether
does he take some athletes
come or what.
We don't know any of that just yet.
Look, we don't have. We've got some mail out of South Australia, but we don't have as strong a mail in South Australia as elsewhere.
Post is slow.
Post is slow.
Coming out of the bite.
Yeah. They still sending carrier pigeons. It's like we haven't used those for years. But big change there from Grange to Glenelg. Other than that, I don't know any other coaching moves of sorts.
Again, I've got a couple that I can't. They're unsubstantiated.
They're still right there.
So maybe next pod we'll be able to release a few more. But I've heard certainly some nipper jobs, that sort of thing, getting around, and a few people moving, in that respect. But in terms of head coaches, in the powerhouse clubs, not too much movement.
No, we haven't heard anything. In terms of, I guess, athletes, again, it's so whisper this, whisper that, rumors.
I've had enough of it.
I'd hate to go out and spoil someone's news before they've released it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's our
laundry.
It's not our laundry to air. It's not ours to say. We've obviously got a couple of them, and as far as I know, a lot of it is inter-club between the Gold Coast clubs. I haven't heard of too many more outside of the Sunshine Coast. I haven't heard any down south too much. I think a lot of it's just that the shifting tides of the Gold Coast, where they sort of move in and around the clubs. There's the 5-6 powerhouse clubs of the coast. If you land at any one of them, you're in the right spot. You're also in the best environment to probably take your game to the next level.
Yeah. Well, I also think just on the Gold Coast, it's kind of easy to make those moves as well. Obviously, everything's quite close proximity to each other. Chancing your hand at another club isn't a huge move. You don't have to pack up your life or move somewhere else. Or if you're on the beaches, sit in 40 traffic to get to Cronulla or whatever it might be in Sydney and some other places. I think Gold Coast is just lends itself to being able to move a little bit more fluidly through clubs till you find your own fit.
And in maybe some not so secretive news, but unofficial news, there has been some interstate moves. Some in the men's field, and we're talking big moves from big names and from athletes who won titles last year that have made moves.
You could say of great magnitude.
Of great magnitude, like you could say of great magnitude, but again, I don't think it's of official news yet. There could be an expose in the next day or two. Channel 9. I don't know. I'm only getting whispers. I can't deny or confirm anything at this stage. The other one though is in the female field.
Yes.
Of arguably her best season yet is making the shift back home. Now, where is home? Well, hey, you read the tarot cards and you tell me where home is, because that's about all the breadcrumbs that we can leave you. But probably off her best season, and maybe one of the best seasons we've witnessed in a long time, that our top Iron Woman returns home.
Yeah, Naomi's got back to Sydney. I think she has some professional moves outside of clubbies that she, or some dreams, that she wants to pursue. And you and I were on the pod, just talking before the pod, and you just it's just a nice ego check for everybody out there that we adore clubbies. I think it's the best sport in the world, whatever else, but it is just a sport at the end of the day. It's a niche sport. It's not the be all and end all. And so when you see someone like Naomi Scott in the middle of her prime go, I want to get back to Sydney and pursue some other dreams, as well as clubbies, as far as I know, I'm not too sure. I just think that's a good, just a good reality check for everybody that, the world is a little bit bigger than just clubbies, as much as we wish it wasn't.
I think as well, obviously she's at a good age now where she probably understands her program, understands what she's capable of, and might be able to do it in a different environment to maybe what she could have years ago before she was mature and knew what she needed to do to get the results that she needed to.
I mean, there's probably just a world where she just does it all and just goes, well, can't go up from there. You know, if you just tick everything off that you've ever wanted to tick off, you're like, man, some people just deserve to go out on top like that. So I don't know if she's retiring. This is all just hearsay, but it's like, I get the move. You come up, knock everything over that you've ever dreamed of. It's like, man, I'm going to go back home now and see if I can make it work from there, I guess.
In some, I guess, other news, and these are all potentially low-level news, but we'll wait and see how these unfold because they could be big by the end of it. South Maroubra.
Southborough.
I can't remember seeing a South Maroubra cap on the beach that wasn't a beachy, but potentially we might see a few more water athletes hit the water.
Remind me of the South Maroubra cap. Can you think of it?
It's sky blue, navy blue, white stripe. Jake Lynch.
Yes.
Moved there this year.
Got it.
So it's like the sky blue, navy blue, white stripes down the middle, or sort of offset. But they're apparently got a pool swim club that have linked in, and they're putting a pool swimming team into the surf club, and they're going to bring some swimmers
across
into the fold.
Wow.
And
any names?
There is a name. I'll give you a name, but I had a look at some of the results and some of the accolades, and look, they're high level, state level, national level swimmers. So if they can work out the skills, they've got a bit of athleticism, they could probably mix it in the sort of 19s and the opens. But the name, and you're going to absolutely love this name, probably their superstar signing, his name, Vectus Bucket.
What?
That is one of the coldest names I've ever heard. Vectus Bucket.
Man.
Signs with South
Calling your
Maroubra.
son Vectus, it's like, this guy's going to be a superstar or bust. Vectus.
Bucket.
That's Latin for fucking unbelievable or something.
I don't know. But Vectus Bucket signs with South Maroubra
and
from
he's
the Randwick City
buckets.
Swim Club.
You know that for a fact.
He gets buckets, that's for sure.
Hang on, I'm going to just have to look up what Vectus is.
Vectus, yeah.
What
do that. I'll keep spitting. I've heard, and this is great mail. I've heard that Big Bear Bailey Williams has launched into the campaign of the short course gold, knowing that it's right in his wheelhouse, and he wants to double or nothing with Jaden Erskine.
All right, the boy's going back at it round 2.
Boys going back at it round 2.
Battle of the big boy. Well, we'll have to come up with a tagline for it.
Did you hear the story of Jaden Erskine getting bailed up at somewhere random? Like I think it was out on the piss, but it was somewhere random. He got bailed up, and they hit him up. They go, Are you the other guy from the Tent Talk beef on the Coolangatta Gold? He was like,
no, he didn't.
What? He's like, they were like, yeah, are you the guy that versed Bailey Williams in the gold? He's like, yeah, I guess that's me. So brutal. Apparently our reach goes near and far.
Sorry, just really quickly, Vectus is another word for strong pole or crowbar. That's awesome. Vectus, would love to have you on the pod.
Yeah, Vectus, reach out. We want you on.
Your favourite athlete.
You're number one athlete. We love our names here. And look, maybe we should have just...
The crowbar is pretty good.
The crowbar.
I mean,
then the bucket.
Yeah, well, also Vectus. You don't change that name.
No, you don't.
That's why you call him that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why else would you call him Vectus?
Exactly.
Yeah. The Half Moon Bay crew. Now, this is something that I think we as Tent Talk should potentially try and fund and get behind and take a superstar team over and try to win this thing. Because we have heard of whispers of the Taplin Bell in the States for I don't know how many years.
As long as I can remember.
As long as I can remember. Trent Goulding, CEO of the World Ocean Series.
The
Godfather, the Mastermind, whatever other name.
The puppeteer.
Heard of him?
Trent Goulding, heard of him?
Trent Goulding has spruiked the Taplin Bell, which for those that don't know the Taplin Bell, it's a big race they do over in the States under lights, Santa Monica Pier, I believe, right alongside it. You race individual cans, so you've got lanes and alleys. It's a Taplin race, minus the ski, substitute in a dory boat. Now, a dory boat is a 2-man boat. It's like a surf boat, a mini surf boat, but 2 men, no sweep, and you tackle that.
Get on with it, yep.
So 2 swimmers, 2 board paddlers, dory boat, in and around. If you win it, you ring the bell. If you've won it 8 times, you ring the bell 8 times. So it's a great tradition, great prestige. It's one of the, I've never been there, but I've heard it's one of the best events that you can ever have.
Yep.
Now, the Half Moon Bay crew, they go over and compete most years.
Well, I think it goes back and forth potentially as well.
They do.
California Lifeguard Service might come here as well.
Well, they do a little bit of a Taplin challenge with them, and they go back and forth. But this year they're going over for the Taplin belt. They're taking 25 athletes.
25 strong.
See, this
Half
is what
Moon rolls so deep.
They roll so deep and strong. And after the heartbreak of their Aussies, you could easily forgive them.
Pack it in.
To go, you know what? This isn't for us. We're packing it in. No, let's double down. Let's get 25 of us. Let's go over to the States. Let's take on the Taplin Bell and let's fly the flag for Australia. Australia let them down and now they're over there flying the flag for them. Mate. So Half Moon Bay, 25 strong, taking on the Taplin Bell and then apparently kicking on into Vegas.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, man.
So I reckon we lobbied this year. Mm-hmm. We try to fund it somehow.
Maybe
we put together a superstar team. Mm-hmm. And we take a Taplin Bell over and we win it under the club cap of Tent Talk. I don't know how we register that, but we will.
I don't think you can do it. I think it's just between those two clubs. I think it's like a
no.
Does every other club in the area go to it?
Yeah, I think so. They? Yeah, I think it's like a legitimate event.
I thought it was just between those two clubs.
Nah, I think it's a legitimate event. They just run it. It's
interesting.
It's a standalone thing, and you're in your lanes, and away you go.
Well, I'd be keen.
That's my understanding, but. If it is only them two clubs, maybe an invitational.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a Tent Talk invitational. I think we can manage that. Outside of that news, I don't have too much. You got anything?
No, not really, mate. That's kind of it. I think we just felt compelled. It was probably a few too many weeks between drinks for us. We had to get back in, start at some stage. We do have some plans in July to head down to Sydney. So if there's a few athletes you want to hear from, please reach out to us. We don't have a lot of time, but we've locked in a few. We're gonna do a few down there, and then hopefully drip feed you guys some episodes.
Well, that's it. I think it's planned for July, August, in around that time, and the plan is to go in, knock over 5 or 6 episodes, as many as we can, potentially see an NRL match, catch up with the crew from Sydney and hear what's good in the hood, and then roll it out.
Earl does listen, so Earl, if you want to take the boys up to the Manly game, I think they're playing somebody that weekend as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's August, I think, the August game. Not sure, but I'll roll through. Brookvale. I've never been there. 4 Pines Park, never been.
Yeah,
but I've heard it's a great local footy ground to go on, suburban ground to go and watch a game of footy at. So
Brookvale's got bury me at Brookie.
All right.
Honestly, that's how good it is there.
I've heard it. Bury him at Brookie. But if you've got anyone on your wish list that you want to see on Tent Talk that maybe we can't get in studio on location in Queensland, that are New South Wales based, hit us up. Let us know, because we've got some ideas. We've got some guests locked in, but we've maybe got room for 1 or 2 more. And if the people want them, then we'll do our best to get them. As well as that, should we talk about the box cutter and what he's got going on with the old boy? Should we leave it?
Maybe not. We'll keep him in suspense until we have something a little bit more sturdy.
What we might say is that while we're also in Sydney, we're hoping to catch up with the Vercos and check out a bit of a prototype.
Let's just say there are a couple of tech-savvy guys and something very exciting in the pipeline that they've been working very hard in the background on. That's as much as
That's as much. They've got a prototype. It's up and running. We're keen to have a look at it.
Yep.
Throw over our expert eyes.
Yep.
And just maybe even give it Tent Talk
tick of approval.
Yep. That might be all they're waiting for.
That's it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be. But I don't know. I think that's about it.
I think we're going to start running a segment where we do just open the DMs up for a slather. So, it'd only be a couple of minutes per up. So if there is something that you hear, you don't want to attach your name to it, maybe send us a DM. Maybe we can unpack it and then potentially do a little bit of our own investigative journalism ourselves. So if you hear something, give us a shout. We'll look into it. But Duff Man.
Otherwise, if that's been Tent Talk, first episode of the new season. You obviously heard we're trying to manufacture something out here. There's not much to go off right now. We're trying to manufacture something. The conversation's opened again for the year. The season, well and truly underway. The off-season's over. Everyone's back into their pre-season training.
Yep.
Mid-September trials. Coolangatta Gold October. World Ocean Series coming up quick.
It's coming around fast, baby.
Hey, be ready. That's been Tent Talk.
We out.
Talk with Duff and Beats. Tent Talk with Duff and Beats. Listen, everybody.